Well, good morning.
Good morning.
You know, this is really great because I don't think anyone is up and awake because of this time change.
It's rough.
I think they're just literally, where are they? Where's everybody?
Hey, we got Colleen, we got Valley, we got Lonnie.
All right, well,
it's
give
like
Lonnie.
romper
Okay.
room.
All right, okay. So anyways, so it was very interesting though.
Okay, tell me about how interesting it was.
Well, because I was getting up preparing for this morning, it was dead black outside. All there was is, because you know I live on the lake, and I think there was some like geese getting raped by other geese this morning and going crazy, and I'm never up to hear that.
Tough stuff.
Yeah, so you know.
That's an aggressive morning.
It is. It was an aggressive morning. But anyways, so
Oh my.
back to completion of the book.
Okay. What book is it?
It's Jen Sincero's. What is it called, Adam? How to Be a Badass?
How to be a badass.
And how-
Kick-ass badass.
How to live an awesome life.
Yes.
How to be a kick-ass badass. So I thought I'd jump right in.
Okay.
Remember last week I wanted to get to this section because I thought it was good. Do you have people out in there in your lifetime or in your world that screwed you over?
Oh, sure.
Jen,
Sure.
you have
As I
people that
look away
screwed
from
you
the
over?
camera.
Some of them are in this room.
Stop.
Hey, Adam. I'm
That
sorry.
made Omri laugh.
So
How about you?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Thinking about it.
I was thinking, this isn't about me, it's about you. Okay.
Ah.
So the question is, you can think of some people, and some of you guys out there, people who screwed you over, and it's about forgiveness and letting that go. I mean, I can think of a couple people that like have annoyed me over time or done moves to me that I didn't think were fair. But you,
Some of them are in this room also.
Yes.
yeah. So basically, this just talks about like forgiving people that screwed you over.
And it's just all part of that, your journey, I think. It kind of goes back to, I don't know if Christine Rogan's on, but it kind of goes back, you can't be frustrated where you are or anything. It's what was supposed to happen to you. I don't know if that was part of my lesson, their lesson.
It's true.
You know.
It's true. So this is where it was last time, just because I think it says the moment you decide to forgive and let negative feelings go away, you're on the road to freedom. So, you know, so it talks a little bit about forgiving those people, and, you know, here's her rules of forgiving a stupid bastard.
Okay.
That's what she calls it.
Does anyone else just keep hearing the song from Forgiveness, More Than Saying Sorry? No, Best Friends?
None of us were born when that.
Oh,
when that
it's a
went out.
Ryan Reynolds movie. Hello. It's a, like, oh.
Jen, do you know it?
whatever.
I have no clue.
Adam?
I had no
Can you,
Okay, Valerie, thank
Wait,
you.
wait,
Valerie Dubuque.
can you sing that again? One more time.
Valerie's got it.
So here we go. How to forgive that stupid bastard. Number one, find compassion. And it says one of the best tricks is to, you know, and it could be an ex-husband, it could be an ex, it could be a business partner, it could be anything. It says that you have to think of that person as a little kid. And if you think of that person as a little kid, it kind of gets a little bit easier to let it go. And they're just little kids that they themselves, whatever they did to you, they felt they were protecting themselves and attempting to do with their own suffering in their own little way. So that was number one.
I like it. I like it.
Number two is to erase that person, the other person, from the equation. So here's an
Okay.
example, Adam. You ready?
Uh-huh.
So two employees, right?
Yep.
Both
Go into a bar.
both of them don't show up, right?
Oh.
So one of them is hungover.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, yeah, I wonder why. And the
I know,
other,
so far you're both of these employees.
their mom died.
Oh,
Okay, so one of
stuff.
them you're going to kind of forgive and say that's okay, and the other one you're going to be a little pissed at, right? Because you know we've been pissed at people, Jen, for people showing up hungover. I don't know, it must be the real estate business or something, but you show up though. You still show up at least.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
or
you
not
still show up.
nice.
So just trying to just equate them together and just letting it go is basically what they
Okay.
say. And the other is, you know, deciding that you'd rather be happy than right, because a lot of times you hold on to resentments with people. And you know what?
Totally.
It's such a pain in the ass. If somebody screwed you over, if somebody messed up your life, or if somebody did something and you just realize, you know what, I could just hang on to this, or I could just let it go. So this one says, let the asshole think he's right and move on.
That's what we do every day.
Now she cuts us a lot. What?
Nailed it.
Nailed it. All right. You know, Jenny. All right.
Sorry.
Let the asshole think he's right and move on. That's what we do every day. All right, so here we go. Number four, look
Number
at
four.
it from all angles.
Okay.
Everyone's living in their own illusion, you know. Number five is have a total shit fit. You know, go smash your pillow.
Oh, not
go,
around
Go
them.
kick something
Okay.
outside. Go friggin' throw a rock through your neighbor's window. Go, no, I'm kidding. But go do whatever you need to. It just says go have a fit.
Huh. Throw a
And
tantrum. Okay.
this is a good one. Remember that you won't even remember it. Remember that whatever it was, but some things you never forget.
If it's a bad one, but some little things you just remember, oh, I remember I had a feeling about that person, but you really don't remember what it was. That's more what mine are.
Yeah.
And most of it is real estate related.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of, and you just have to say, ugh. It's
Okay.
part of the journey.
Now, number 7. This is the one I thought was the most important.
Oh, I like that.
Forget about it and wipe the slate clean and move on, instead of waiting for them to piss you off again. You know what I mean? It's like trying to give people that second chance, but a lot of people are going to piss you off again, but that's just the breaks. So whatever. So any comments about that? Just hey, if we all have somebody that we need to forgive and let go of, this basically is just your chance to do it.
Do
And
it.
just
It's-
move on, because you're just damaging yourself.
You really are, and you're not healing all your other aspects if you're still harboring all those feelings and worrying about that.
All right, so now I'm going to totally switch it up.
All right.
So the next section in the book, she talks about a trip she took to India.
Ooh, now I'm in.
So she goes to India, and she said, obviously there's a billion, 1 point whatever billion people in India, right? It's just, supposedly it's just a madhouse. It's craziness. There's palaces, there's slums, there's massive traffic, there's honking of horns.
I wanna
there's
go so bad.
Cows walking across the street. There's meditation, there's just parties. There's everything going on like crazy there. So when you go there, don't go there to relax.
Right.
Is basically kind of what they're saying. And so she's just trying to maneuver her way through India.
Okay.
And she's realizing kind of how different it is than the United States, because it's nuts, right? She said, and all of a sudden the bus pulls over and there's this kind of, it's a little bit dark at the point, and everybody takes buses there. They pull over the bus because she's a passenger on the bus, and just everybody's going insane on the bus too. People are trying to talk to her, and she doesn't speak the language, and they don't care. They keep talking. So this guy gets on this bus, and she goes, and he's obviously crazy.
Oh.
And he gets up in the front, and he looks back to the bus, and he just starts screaming at everybody, like saying crazy things. And then the next thing you know, everybody on the bus, he says something, and then the whole bus chants back to him. And then he says something, and the whole bus chants back to him. He goes, so this crazy guy gets on the bus, and everybody engages in it.
Huh, okay.
And he goes, it's just crazier. He goes, there's people walking, there's people talking, there's people farting, there's people burping, there's people laughing, there's people yelling. You know, he just says it's absolutely like crazy there. They just don't care. But she said that it's so cool though, because they always have such a positive attitude about everything. And she said you could be parked in traffic, nonstop traffic, and somebody puts down their window and says, hey, how's it going today? Like they're literally yelling that across the
Really?
streets. Yeah, she said it's just such a great, wonderful attitude over there that everybody has. So she just had to share some lessons, and there's a whole chapter on this, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Number 1, it says, always talk to strangers. She said, because they are so interesting.
Now that
over
you're
there.
an adult.
Yeah, now that you're an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you're an adult. And you can take candy from them too. Well, no.
No.
Okay, so talk to strangers, and it says we're all family on this planet. Number 2 is expect and enjoy the unexpected. That's
Yes.
really cool.
Yes.
Because there are things that you could do that could really piss you off, or if you're with the right person, you could look to that person next to them, watch what's happening, and laugh about it.
Yeah.
So expect and enjoy the unexpected. Number 3 is find the humor, which is the same kind of thing. And number 4 is join the party. Right? I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
Join the party.
I
Find
like
the
all
humor.
those. Those are good. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, anyways, so that was kind of the next little section.
Okay.
All right. Somebody spilled glue on this desk, Adam. And it's driving
God.
me insane. My OCD is going nuts.
Oh, God.
And I know it was you.
Yeah, because
How could it be? You just glue
Who
everything?
else would do this? All right,
I
I'm
picked
sorry.
the wrong week to.
Well, it's right here.
start
It's
sniffing
right where I
glue
set my
again.
coffee, too. What did he say?
It was from Airplane. I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue again. It's
All right, so
all about movies today. That's fun.
what is this glue? All right.
I don't
so-
know.
Who could have had glue?
I don't know. But anyways, it also kind of, one of the future next sections in here talks about, by the way, does anybody ever go for walks? You ever go for a walk?
Squirrel.
You ever go for a walk?
Yes.
Do you really ever go for a walk?
Well, before we got the dog, now the dog's too little, and so we have to wait till she gets all of her shots.
Okay, Jen, do you go for walks?
Not if I can avoid it.
Okay, let's be honest. If we don't have to,
Adam,
we
do you go for walks?
Yeah, I gotta walk the dog.
Okay.
So.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes when you go out walking, you'll walk in front of a house, and all of a sudden you'll see something that you've just never noticed before?
Yes.
Or you'll notice that a house is just awesome, or it's got cool colors, or man, that tree is fabulous, or whatever?
Yes.
So it's basically, it's kind of just talking about how most of the time in our life we don't really notice things because we're so laser focused.
Yes.
So it says, or here's another thing. Have you ever been talking to someone and finally noticed the color of your friend's eyes? And you're like, oh, you have green eyes.
I'm not you, but in general.
Wow. But it's been right there in front of you the whole life. You know what I mean? What color are Jen's eyes?
Brown.
All right, well, I'm paying attention. All right, so here's an example. I want everybody on the call and everybody in this room,
Okay.
look around the room and
Okay.
tell me, and everybody in this room,
Okay.
look around the room and
Okay.
tell me what things you see that are red.
I spy with my little
Okay, wait,
eye.
but hang on. All you guys on the call, just look
Chuck
around your
Whitehead.
house. Look at Jen. Okay, guys, you're ruining my exercise.
No, I'm exercising. I am. I see. Look at red, people. Look at red.
So you can even look on the monitor. I see Brian's red jersey behind him. You know, the Palomalu.
I see Teresa's red.
I mean, but look around the room here, and when you look around, you see red, right?
Ooh.
Okay, now everybody kind of get back to not looking around anymore. But no, that's a good thing because you never noticed the things that are red. Now, don't look around the room. What things in the room are yellow?
Easy peasy.
Jen's shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, you looked at her shirt though, Adam.
Oh,
So
I wasn't paying attention to you. I'm sorry.
I know. So the whole point is you only see what you're focusing on. That's the point.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
what you choose to focus on becomes reality. So, you know.
Okay. Okay.
And then one of the things with that too is when he starts talking about realities is, and here's where it gets interesting. We all have our stories, right? But when I say we all have our stories, it's the stories we tell ourselves as to why we can't do the things that we need to do in life. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So like, you went to the gym this morning, right?
Well, I worked out.
Okay, you worked out this morning. And why do you not work out every day?
Because I made excuses about my pup.
Okay, so you know
Oh, I know.
your story. Your story is
I'm a liar.
You're
Yes.
a liar.
I will make the most excuses, and I've made them my whole life.
Well, and that's what this is about. It says, we're set in our stories. Now, why are you not a multimillionaire?
Because
Multimillionaire.
because I don't
Who wants that?
work that hard.
I'm what?
Because I make excuses.
Well,
Because
well, so everybody's kind of got that internal story as to why, like, why am I not president?
you really love. Yeah, that really gets
No,
at
no,
your
no,
craw,
but-
doesn't it?
Well, no, but my point being, it's because of the stories I tell myself.
Yeah.
And those of you guys on this call, why are you not a top 10 real estate agent? What is your story? Why? What is it that somebody got to mute somebody. So what do we have to tell, or I mean, what do we tell ourselves that makes us not be a top 10 agent?
Yeah.
And so it really talks about, and a lot of people are going back to their youth and saying like, well, like, why am I not in shape? And you're not where you want to be, right? You've told me that.
Right.
Why?
And then I keep rewriting the story to make it so I can't. That's the talk I had this weekend.
With yourself?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and someone had to listen. But
Who was it?
Almer.
Okay.
And by the way,
great
the reason I call her
psychologist.
Almer is we have 8 Jennifers
Yeah.
in
That's
our
true.
in our office, so that's why she's
That's true.
Almer to me.
That's true. So Adam,
What?
are you living the life that you want to live?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, boy. What's your story? What are some of the stories that you tell yourself? Honestly, some of the stories that you tell yourself that hold you back.
Yeah, I don't want to live that life. That's too much responsibility.
Yeah.
So basically, I thought that was interesting. And she talks about whenever, her name is Jen too, by the way. But whenever she's talking about these sorts of things, she thinks of Ray Charles. Anytime she says she can't, he was broke, he was blind, he was a minority, he was orphaned at 15 years old, he was grew up in a bad neighborhood. Yet he became one of the most influential people in history.
Yeah.
Blind. So, and this next section is just our entire existence on this planet is based on how we perceive reality and the stories that we tell ourselves. Is kind of where she comes, and I like that. I thought that was cool.
It's so true.
So she says that the first thing you have to do is become aware of what stories we do tell ourselves. So this is an exercise that I thought almost would be fun.
Okay, let's
It'd
do it.
almost be fun as even for like a goal setting or a business planning or whatever.
Those are my favorites.
It's becoming aware of what your stories are, because you're the author of your own. So if you were to write down, if you were to say like, why am I not in the spiritual place I want to be, and then write it down. Why am I not in the physical place that I want to be, and write it down, and be negative. Like, oh, well, I was bullied in junior high, or this or that, or you know what, I have genes that, just make me be heavy, or, so she's basically suggesting that you write down all of the negative stories that we tell ourselves about every piece. Why am I not extremely, extremely rich? Some people are going to say maybe they feel they don't deserve it, or money is evil, or, those sorts of things.
Sure.
So you write those things down, and like people who stay in miserable jobs, they stay there. Why? Because that's where they believe they deserve, or they don't want to take that chance. Or women or men that say there aren't any good men out there, or why are you laughing at them? But
It's taking it all in.
I think a lot of people do say that there aren't
I
any
do
good
too.
men out there.
Yeah.
I'm not good at relationships. What self-sabotaging stories do we tell ourselves? Is kind of what she's suggesting. And so that's the first one. So second is kind of becoming aware of what you're gaining from your stories. This is what I thought was cool. So not what you're gaining like in a positive way, but let's say you're depressed.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people that are, and a lot of people that fight with manic depression, and we know a lot, right, Jen? I mean, they're everywhere in the world, unfortunately. And if you say you're depressed or you're manic or this or that, you don't have to work hard. You have an excuse to not do the laundry, and people around you know that because you're depressed, or you're manic and they kind of know you're manic. You don't go to the gym. You start using it as excuses to stay more familiar and comfortable by saying that I'm depressed, or I'm a depressed person, or I have manic or this or that. So it's just kind of a way that we start to train ourselves by saying, so the story is attached. So when I say my story, I can make my life easier by not having to do things because, that's the way I am. Can't make big money. By saying that, it keeps you from maybe possibly big failures and making a run at something. Relationships, if I don't have one, I don't have to commit. And the grass could be greener on the other side. So we basically get perks from our stories and false attachments on the other side.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So here's the exercise.
Okay.
So imagine everybody out there. Let's say you're depressed. Let's say you're overweight. Let's say you're not a top producer.
All the great things.
Let's say you're lazy. Let's say all these different things. Hey, I didn't write the book, all right? But here's what you do. Number 3 is getting rid of your stories. So no more I can'ts, and Sonia would like this. No more I can'ts, I shouldn'ts, I never.
Right.
And so we've made a list of all those false rewards, right? Bad at relationships, I suck at flirting, there's no good men left, I'm not attractive enough to have a good man, I don't trust men. So you write them all down. And then you flip them upside down. So you might say like, I'm really good at flirting. Or you might say, there are a lot of great men out there in the world, I just got to find them, they're everywhere. Basically all these different things that you flip all those. So we spend all our time and we write down all the things that are our negative stories, and then you flip it and you say the opposite, you put it into a paragraph.
Yeah, I like it.
And then you live by that paragraph. That becomes the paragraph that, I'm not very smart. No, I am smart. So I am very smart. And, God giveth and God taketh away, right? So I just thought it was an interesting concept.
I think it'd be fun one Monday, we would have like a little mini workshop where we could do these little exercises.
I like that.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. A motivation mastery.
A different type of M&M, if you will.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. All right. I know that some of the things other people do, and this is something that we do at home, is anytime anybody does get negative or starts telling a negative story, we have a code word, and it's Nancy. Whenever we say anything that is a bad story or negative or down on yourself or whatever, Nancy, and then you have to snap right out of it. So, just something to practice at home maybe. I don't know, you know what I mean? If somebody's being down on themselves, you can't let them do that.
It's called
Okay,
the
Nancy.
Chuck.
What's that?
We're going to call it the Chuck.
The Chuck. All right. well,
Ooh, Chuck. Chuck.
All right, so we flipped them upside down. And then the next thing is, of course, get a move on, and it says just trying to go get that sort of stuff. And then get out of your routine a little bit. It says that sometimes you got to snap your routine. So just a thought. But does anybody? What do you think? What do you think about these topics?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, I don't know if anyone else is big on pop culture, if you will, but the big thing right now is Kanye and Pete Davidson. And Pete said, yeah, I don't care if you're not on your medication or you have depression, it still doesn't give you a right to be a you still have to be kind and all that. Now, I'm not pro Pete, if anyone's watching, or pro-gay. I'm just saying. So that's the story. That's the story they tell themselves. Oh, I get to be mean. I get to be this or whatever.
Right. So it's the stories that
the
we all get to
stories.
tell ourselves, you know. And so Kanye's coming out and saying it's because I'm trying to get off my meds and this.
Or this is me. This is
He's gay?
no
Yeah, you said pro-gay. I'm like, what?
pro-yay.
Oh, pro-yay. I
That's
was
his
like,
name.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, Pete just needs to hold out for when this album release is
Right.
done. And
No, they're all just doing it for PR. So that's their story.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
everyone's just trying to get PR there. But
Right.
anyway, it is bringing light more on to depression, bipolar, and all of that, which I think is a good thing. So
Well, and it's very real. And anybody that thinks that's not real, they don't
Yeah.
know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah,
Because,
it's not
it
fun.
is, and it's a curse. Mm-hmm. It's a curse not only for you, but for everyone around you,
Mm-hmm.
if you have it. It's very unfortunate. But I do believe it can be controlled and
Yes,
maintained
go get
through
help. It's
health and
okay.
fitness and medications. And I know for a
Yes.
fact, I mean, you can see people climb out of that hole. But
Mm-hmm.
so one of the next sections is on procrastination.
oh God, that's me.
Can we talk about this later?
It took me a minute. I was like,
Okay, so procrastination is one of the most popular forms of self-sabotage. Would you agree?
oh yeah.
And because it's really easy. You know what I mean? I mean, I think I told you this before. I remember, I'll never forget, Ryan and I were going to go to the gym when he was like 13 years old, but the kitchen was destroyed.
Uh-huh.
And I said, hey, Ryan, let's clean up the kitchen before we leave. And he goes, hey, Dad, I got an idea. And I said, yeah. And he goes, let's let future Dad and future Ryan worry about it. And we can go to the gym right now. And I was like,
He's got a good point.
that's what I said. I said, that's a good point.
That is a
Let's
good
go.
point.
So, but I think it works in both ways, you know, I mean, so but it would have been my preference is to get things like that done. I think that is definitely a personality flaw. I mean, a couple of the most intelligent people I know in the world are absolutely nowhere compared to what they are capable of because of procrastination and analysis paralysis. And they're so afraid. And I mean, wicked effing smart, like insane, like insane. But procrastination has made it so that they're living a very mundane and average life when they should be running circles around everybody in the world and doing big things. And that's one of the things that drives me crazy. You know, I like to say for myself, I like to say I'm a get shit done kind of guy. And Margaret is a perfect example of that too. If Margaret has it on her list, it will be done and it will be done immediately. And if I put it on my goal list or, you know, whatever, mine will be done too. And sometimes you may push it off, but you can go back and look at your to-do list a week later and it's all done. You know, but it is such a curse. And I don't know about you guys, but, and this is not a shot if you're one of these people. I cannot stand people that procrastinate. I can't even be around them.
Then why do you have 3 of them in the room?
I don't think look how fast Adam gets editing done.
This is true, but
I mean, and Jen is not sending me the sales meetings at 9:05 anymore. She's actually doing it in advance. She's doing it, you know, like the night before. I'm so proud of you, Jen.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I don't think you're not a procrastinator either.
not about work, I guess.
Just about getting our life together in general.
Yeah, in general.
Okay, I mean, does anybody out there, has anybody been a procrastinator and then figured out a way to come over it, to overcome it? Does anybody battle with procrastination? Is it, you know, does anybody have analysis paralysis? And it really comes down to the next topic, which is fear. I put the pro in procrastination,
Hell yeah,
somebody said.
I'm with you, Lynn.
So it's unfortunate because it is a curse. It's really hard to make an impact, to make a difference, and be a top producer. I would bet you of all
you're
the
right.
top 50 in the company, the majority of them are not procrastinators.
In business.
Yeah, in business. They could be in life,
Yeah,
but I don't think they self-sabotage themselves in that way when it comes to business.
I think you're right.
And I do know, especially newbies who don't make it, because what do we say? Usually like 2 out of 10 make it. You know the ones that show up here and do the texting and do the reviews and do all that stuff versus the ones that always come up with excuses to me that they can't make it. And there are a whole group of them. And I can tell when I ask them to be here and they're not going to be here because they have something else going on. A lot of times they won't even give me excuses.
Right, I just can't.
They're not going to make it.
No.
Because they're just procrastinating doing the hard work that you have to do to be successful in this business.
I do feel that this next group, or this past group from 2021, I think we're going to have 3 out of 10.
Well,
Do it. They seems to be more
I would agree. A very professional
hungry.
group.
A very professional.
Yeah. Well, and we've also recognized and isolated the people that we know are going to kick ass and take names, which I think is also different. And they are, and we've identified the get shit done kind of people.
Yeah, the
And
non-procrastinators.
And you mentors out there on the call, I mean, you know the agents that you have that don't even get back to you.
Yeah.
You call them, you ask them to come in for this or that or whatever. Let's go over a contract. Let's go over a CMA. Let's do a listing presentation. And they never even get back to you at all.
Yeah.
They're done. They're procrastinating learning the business.
Out of fear, probably.
And that's exactly what it is. So that's a big one. So here's some ways to overcome procrastination. We've already read books on this. I'm going to go quick.
Okay.
Remember that getting something done is better than being perfect.
That's
Just
so
getting something done is
true.
better than being
Yep.
perfect.
Get her done.
It can be a crappy website, but if your website's up, it's something. It can be a crappy post, but if it's up, it's something.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I told one of our agents recently. She came in for a video and she still hasn't posted it. She's like, I just need some time. And I'm like,
Okay,
look,
I know who it is. Get it on.
Yeah, I'm like,
Get it on. You're on the call. Get
your
it on.
crappy video, and it's not even a crappy video because I produced it. Your crappy video, well, I'll do your lack of video like you say all the time, Chuck.
It's correct. It's correct.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go
So
ahead.
number two, this is a big one, and this one I didn't see in any of the other books when we
Okay.
read this one. Notice where you stop. So if I have a job to get done, or if I'm a real estate agent and I'm going to be texting 100 people, or I'm going to be asking for 10 reviews this week or whatever, where did I stop?
That's
What
good.
was that moment when I said, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to do this? So also, Ginny, and this applies to me too, when you stop going to working out in the mornings, when? If you could identify, I stopped
know
on a
when.
Wednesday when I knew that I had X coming up this following day. So if you can identify when you stop doing the things that you need to do to get where you need to go, it'll help you. So I like that one. This is a good one. Number 3, make a bet with someone mean. I made a bet with Jen's boyfriend Dan, and we sent pictures with our shirts off, and the loser we were going to post, whoever didn't get in the best shape within the 30 days, we were going to post the other person's picture.
That's
And if you guys
awful.
made a bet with me like that, I'd post it.
Good thing I have no shame in my game.
I
Yeah,
know you
sure.
don't care.
Yeah, I saw your post this weekend. Jeez.
I know.
Laying
By
in the
the way,
bed, looking
people-
like you got beat up the night before.
People were really concerned about me, and I'm like, I was just a joke.
It's
Like,
not funny. There's no humor in being so doomsday. Especially
For those
in
who
this
don't know, I
climate.
posted a picture of me and Nance in bed, and I said, seize the day, get up, do something with your short life. And I said, or don't, everything's meaningless anyway. And people are like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, do you remember my comment?
yeah. How
said,
motivating.
You're so inspiring.
I know.
All right.
I know.
That's
think
why
about
he's
motivation.
over there.
That's why he's over there.
Number 4, own it and work with it.
Love it.
Instead of pretending you're wasting, because what a lot of us do is when we know we have something to do, and I think, I'm not saying you, Jen, but I'm saying people in general,
What?
when we know we have a project to do, we pretend we're busy wasting our time doing other menial, worthless projects, so that we don't have to do this project.
I'm sorry, I have to do everything.
I'm not saying you. I just said not saying you.
Oh, okay.
All right. So own it and work with it instead of pretending you're busy working on something else instead of getting it done. Mm-hmm. It's like, there are things that I would rather go clean the kitchen and wash the dishes before I did. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful of that.
Like go for a walk.
So that's all I wanted to hit on procrastination. There's a whole chapter on it, but I just wanted to hit those 4 things.
No, that's really good. That's all we get? That was good.
That's it. Okay, now we're
Because you're not a procrastinator, so that's
we
why
got to get
it's
shit done,
fun.
all right? All right.
Okay.
So the next is the drama of being overwhelmed. Okay, and I know a lot of people on this call, especially some of the people that are the newbies, they have, let's look at Sandy Reese. She has 4 kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
She's got, a husband. You've got 2. You've got, well, if you count Dan, you have 3.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we get overwhelmed with all the stuff we have going on. And however, a lot of the times, some of the things that we paint in our mind that are our problems are not really that bad. And that's what this one's about. So this was a Mark Twain quote that I loved. Okay, I love this quote. I have lived a long life and had many troubles, most of which never happened.
Yeah.
I have lived
Yeah.
a long life and had many troubles, most of which never happened. How many times have we just stressed the shit out of ourselves about something that never even happens? Do you do that, Adam?
Yeah, that's like my life. I could write a book on that.
So I thought that was pretty good. And I'm going to say that again. I've lived a long life and had many troubles, most of which never happened, because I do stress myself out. I believe anxiety and things like that, that's what it's all about. So then she kind of breaks into some miscellaneous stuff, a bunch of different quotes that I thought were cool. One of the excuses we use is there isn't enough time to get things done. And I know we have an agent that is in the company that never calls anybody back. Everybody's complaining about him, clients, everybody. And then every time you get him up, he's like, I'm too busy. And then you find out they're at dinner for 2 hours, or they're out for drinks, so they're doing this, so they're doing that, So,
Yep.
I mean,
Prioritize.
there isn't enough time. Don't have the time. I don't have the time to clean my office. Excuses. It's just excuses. Another, and I thought you'd like this one. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah.
Now everybody hears that, and you think of like, oh, you know what? This guy's a jerk, but if I have a friend, maybe he'll be nice to me and not, whatever. That's kind of how most people would look at keep your enemies closer, right? Just know what you're thinking, know what you're up to, so you're not sabotaging me. But that's not what this one means. When it says keep your friends close and your enemies closer, you know what our enemies are in this world? Facebook, emails, eating when you're not hungry, snacking all day long at your desk.
He is being really aggressive today.
What? No, I'm just saying when you're not hungry.
I need the energy to.
I'm not talking about you. Why do you think it's all about you? So it talks about when you have projects going on.
Jeez.
When you have projects going on,
That's why Chuck sits right across from you. You got to keep him close. Right? It's like,
turning off the internet, setting down your phone, banning yourself from the kitchen when you're doing projects. Because I don't know, I mean, obviously some people don't have this problem, but when you're bored, do you find yourself eating?
Yeah, well, you know what? I had a trainer who finally said, she goes, I think what it is, you only allow yourself to sit down when you're eating. That's the only time I allow myself to stop. I was like, And if you know my mother, she is a hummingbird. She never stops. So probably I would say, oh, I'm hungry. So I was allowed not to do something. I was allowed not to, I could stop cleaning. I could stop crafts, whatever it was.
That's very
so I
interesting.
thought that was very interesting.
Okay, I like that. So basically, when it says, just be aware of your enemies and try to isolate yourself
I love
from,
that.
from Facebook, from eating when
Instagram.
you're not hungry, from all those sorts of things.
Yes.
So,
I love that.
yeah, so that's just a thought. The other one is if you're disorganized or if you're not getting your stuff done, and this goes especially for people that are in real estate or overwhelmed with the kids, is if you're disorganized, get some help. Ask outside perspectives of people that are making it happen. Murphy will always take the time to talk to you. I mean, she's got 2 kids. She's running around like everybody. There's so many people in this company that are running around crazy, just as busy as you are, but somehow they figured it all out.
Or they even do 2 jobs.
True.
So reach out to them, and they do both well.
And I think that's another thing that people can talk to Sonia about too. If you are wondering how to balance your life, and if you're willing how to handle the kids and the sports and your significant other and your house and maintaining this and that, Sonia is a perfect example, a coach, or some of the other top producers that appear to have it together. Hit them up. That's what she's suggesting.
For sure. I think that's really smart.
And the big thing it says is, she believes the best place you could put your money is a business coach. Hands down, 100%. A business coach or a friend that has their shit together who will sit with you.
Yeah.
One of those two. And just, why reinvent the wheel? Because everybody in the world's had those problems that you've had. Why not see how they're handling it? So, just a thought. Just a thought.
No, I think it's great.
And the other thing is delegate or die.
Yes.
For you really, really busy people out there with all the kids and everything, delegate or die. Try to get help. Do what you can.
Yeah. What was that one? A, B, C, D, and the last one was D was delegate. It's so true. We don't have to do it all ourselves. I hate to tell you all this. You're not the best at everything. It's okay to have someone else do it. It's going to be all right if it's not perfect.
That was one of the biggest things that I ever figured out. So,
Yeah.
Because when and this, I don't know if this will help you guys out there, but so when obviously I was an agent at the company and I was very busy. I remember I had like 11 or 12 escrows going at all times. Like I was super busy. And Margaret and Jody pulled me aside and asked me if I'd be willing to manage. Oh. And I said, let me think about it. I need a month to think about it. And I went home and I came back and I swear to God, I came back the next day and they had all my shit packed up in a box and I was going to start at Menifee the next day. I swear, this is exactly what
It's like
happened.
the most Margaret thing ever.
Oh yeah, and I was like, what? And so that's how I ended up managing. True story. And so then I went over there and then I started managing and I started figuring out, okay, we need to start a marketing department. We need to do a few things because back then we only had like 30 agents. And I was the marketing department. So I was selling. You were there at the time. I was managing. I was doing the agents' flyers because I didn't, and then we hired somebody to do the flyers and I didn't trust them, so I was doing the flyers myself. And it took me, and that's because I was like 23, 24, 25 and just starting to learn things. But I realized that you eventually have to jump off the cliff and allow other people to delegate out that work. You cannot be a control freak and grow.
Yeah, you're right. It's so true.
You are a great interviewer and recruiter. That used to be one of my tasks also. And then I would also prep meetings. She's better at that than I am. So like, you just have to delegate out those pieces of your life so that you can, and you have to trust people that they'll do it. And Adam's a better video guy, right? I mean, we all have to learn to delegate to be better at our crafts. And so you now have somebody running the real estate school. You now have somebody prospecting. So you're beginning to delegate those pieces.
Yes.
Right? And when you guys are out there trying to hire, or buying leads, you're hiring out the pieces of not having to search for leads. When some of our top producers have an assistant and they're doing all the social media for it, it's because that's what they do. And think about that. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. The top agents that have released that social media piece and they're killing it, and it's the best social media we've ever seen, they don't even know it's happening.
Right.
So eventually you have to learn to delegate out pieces for you to grow your business. And for you to grow in life.
Yeah.
When I was coaching football, I never coached my own kids when they were playing certain positions because those coaches over there were better at those positions than I am.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we have to learn to have faith in people and begin to delegate that
Love
stuff
it.
out. So
Love it, love it.
Delegate or die, or stay right where you're at your whole life.
You choose.
Yeah, just stay where you're at.
Delegate.
Right. So anyways, and then remember we were talking about fear, and this is the theme for today, Adam. Fear is for suckers.
Ooh.
Right.
I pity the fool who has fear.
Well, and so here's the quote to the Fear is for Suckers chapter. Ready? It's terrible. Tell me if this hurts anybody else as much as it hurt me. We tiptoe through life, hoping to make it to death safely.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We tiptoe through life, hoping to make it to death safely. Isn't that sad? It's just kind of like crazy. So, and it's because of our fear. And that's where it's going to bring all this stuff up. We've made fear a habit. I'm just as guilty. The reason that we all live the lives we live is because we're too afraid to go try or do something else or whatever.
And I think the older you get, you have more fear about other things that you never had fear about before.
Oh yeah.
Example.
Well, it's kind of like how before I had a whole life where I could start new. Which I'm only 50, whatever. 52, I'll own it. Because you like to say I'm so much older than you.
We're like an ant, but go ahead.
I always thought, I can do another gig, or whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to lose all my money, that type of thing.
I mean, for me, I used to smoke a pack and a half a day. Like, your fears change as you get older.
Yeah.
You start to question your mortality.
Mortality and...
Yeah.
Have you ever known anyone, this was an interesting question in the book, have you ever known anyone that's taken a giant leap of faith? And here's what I mean, and I do. I don't know. You remember our one buddy quit working for 6 years? Do you remember him? He had the superpower job. He just quit, sold his house, lived at a relative's house, and did whatever he wanted whenever he wanted for like 5 or 6 years. Lived on the money he had, but taking out a giant loan to build a dream business, or
a lot of people they stopped paying. I did. You're just like, okay, I'm going for this real estate thing. I'm leaving the school district. I know there's others on here who did the same.
You got to give some credit to those people for overcoming that fear.
Yeah, it was scary.
And you know what? If you are the person who quit your day job to go for real estate, don't ruin your life. Come to the Prospecting Masteries. Make us, help us help you.
You can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Have you ever known anybody that's just got a wild hair and just went and decided to travel the world?
Besides you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Quit their job to become an actor. Going skydiving. Just things like that where, but we're too afraid to go do those sorts of things because we're tiptoeing through life hoping to make it to death safely.
Yeah, that's good.
And they always say, on the other side of your fear is your freedom. So got to navigate through fear.
That's a good one.
The only way through is through the fire.
Say that again?
The only way, what is it? What did they say? You got to go through the fire. The only way is through.
Hey, can you mute him, Jen?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. So it says, if you look back at some of the scariest decisions you ever made in your life, you made a jump to real estate. Everybody on this call made a jump to real estate. And some people are happy about it and some people are regretting it, right?
Yeah, and you can regret it and then switch it. You don't always have to regret it. Now start different today, It's a
agree.
great market.
Do you,
hard market, but
so
it's a great
when you
market.
look at some of the biggest decisions behind you that you ever made that you were really, really scared of, can you think of any? Mm-hmm. And would you mind sharing?
Divorce.
That is a big one.
Yeah, I was very young. Well, to me, I wasn't young. I was 28, 3 kids.
And a lot of people make make that decision or stay where they're at because of the fear, right? Mm-hmm. And when you look back now, was it that scary? Just out of curiosity?
No,
It was a big deal. That's
it was
a big deal.
I had great people around me, and like I had put such stigmatism on staying married, like it was a big deal to me because I was from a divorced family, and my dad's like, "That's not why you stay married," and so oh, it's not, you know.
Well, thank you. That's big of you. I like that you share that. So, when you look back now, though, you're happy you made that decision.
Oh yeah,
But
and
it
I'm
was-
sure everyone is.
It's scary and hard at the time, but you're happy
Yeah.
you made that decision. I look back too, like I remember, I got that wild hair on 10 o'clock at night, and I left at 6 a.m. the next morning and flew to Israel on my own when everybody's like, you can't go there, it's crazy, da 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 da.
So
and
crazy.
was that scary? A little bit, but was it the best 6 days of my life? It's right up there.
That's
as
so crazy.
Some of the best, So the next, of course, is to flip that fear. So let's say that your goal is to write a book. Or let's say your goal is to be number one time, 1 month. And the question is, so I wanted to write a book, but if you flip that fear, you go, what would it feel like to never write that book? I want to be number 1 at least 1 month in the Marriott office. What would it be like to never be number 1 month in the Marriott office? So they talks about flipping the fear upside down on its head. So number 3 is being in the moment. We always talk about being in the moment. If you just try to figure out where you're at and just be realistic and live in that moment, it's going to be a little bit easier. Number 4 is cutting off the stream of crap. And that is being more conscious of the information you're bringing into your mind, into your body, especially politics and all that stuff. But cutting off the stream, because I think the news and all that stuff is also just nothing but fear.
Don't look
Yes,
at me.
I was
look
just
at
saying,
me.
no, you, and then you bring it to us, and then it just ruins everything.
Yeah, I think so. I thought this was a tough one, but don't think of anything upsetting in bed at night. That was one of her suggestions.
yeah.
Think about that.
Well, because sometimes don't we all just go, you bring it, you think about, oh, what horrible thing happened today? What embarrassing thing did I do today? Is it just me? Anyone else?
Trust your instincts and jump, Michelle Carnley said.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Michelle Carnley jumped into real estate probably 3 or 4 years ago, right, Michelle? I mean,
Was it 5? She's amazing.
that's
Tell
a-
us.
that's a
I
big-
jumped in 6 years ago, but I was just telling Sarah Brady and everybody the story again the other day. During COVID 2021, I had to borrow $200 from my son to pay an electric bill. I mean, I hit rock bottom. And my son said, "What's your backup plan?" I said, "I don't have a backup plan." And he was heading to a early 2 weeks early to Black Friday sale. And I thought, shit, I'm going to do a Black Friday sale. And with that one decision, everything changed around. I ended up having 3 houses turned into 5, and so on. So I sold
awesome.
20 houses last year. I'm on house number 3 today. And guess what, Chuck? I'm proud to say today, another bucket list, all those things, we wrote down on our thing at your meeting for the goal for the year. I've just put solar on my house, and today I'm buying my Tesla.
Yes.
So I'm going
Okay,
to
wait.
see
Okay, so-
my 2021 Tesla today. I
All
can't
right,
wait.
okay.
It's only got 7,000 miles on it. I can't wait.
So-
But yeah,
so-
it's so important to write your goals down, and then don't be afraid to jump. I mean, I helped Sarah Brady came to my open house this last weekend, and the week before she did open house with me at La Jolla, and she picked up 2 buyers, and God bless her, she drove out from Brea every day, all the time, showing these people this house. And so I was helping her last night at midnight, writing a couple offers. But I'm so proud of her. So she's jumpy. You got to don't be afraid, people. Just do it and just take the jump and just trust that you got this. I mean, God has you exactly where you're supposed to be. I always believe that. And everything happens for a reason. And like the Friday motivation, she said, even the struggles, those were just God little winks to get you to the next level. And I loved that too. But, don't be afraid. Take the jump.
Michelle, I was just thinking how you said you wrote those things down. So you said a couple years ago when COVID started, you had a bar $200. You have gone all out, by the way. She's all out in real estate. She's sitting open houses every weekend. She's doing farming. I mean, she's hitting it. So not only are you buying a Tesla today, not only did you just put solar on your house, but you also the son that you borrowed $200 from a couple of years ago, is that the same son that you took to the Bahamas last week?
Yes, I did, because I wanted to honor him. He got his own room. It was an amazing trip, but yeah, I wanted to honor him because he had faith and, he gave me the $200. And he literally, his words of inspiration were, Mom, what's your backup plan? And I said, I don't have a backup plan. This is it. And he said, then Mom, you have to go all in. You have to think of something. And so right then and there, when he said he was leaving for a Black Friday sale, I was like, perfect. I'm going to do that for houses. And I got to tell you that theory, that idea worked.
I love it.
So I went knocking on all my farm. I said, who's ready for a Black Friday sale? And, I ended up with 3 houses, which turned into 5. But, you got to trust when you have a great idea. Just go for it. Do it. Don't be afraid.
I love it, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's really good stuff. So, all right. So we're going to keep moving. And basically, one of the next chapters was kind of a bunch of miscellaneous thoughts that I thought we could talk about real quick. It says, this is a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, right? And it says, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent.
That's a great one.
No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So you could listen to people and just brush it off.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I
We're going to work on that.
So next time you're making me feel inferior, I'll just be like, no means no. I don't consent.
Whatever you got to do, Adam. That's basically what he says anyway.
Yeah.
No means no. All right, so another one is the people that you surround yourself with, of course, are an excellent mirror for who you are and how much or how little you love yourself. So who you spend your time around is really like, if you were to look at them, they are you. And we've talked about that a million times. So who do you spend the most time with? Jeremy. You are Jeremy. Jeremy is you, in a sense, right?
I guess so.
I guess so. I don't know. I think it has to do with more with friends, because once you get married,
Yeah, and it was definitely
Marriage is
opposites
different.
attract, that type of thing.
so
Yeah, for sure.
if you think about your best friends that you pick up the phone and call, that's you. They're a little different, though, aren't they? All right. Let's see. Never apologize for who you are. It lets the whole world down. That's one of the other things. So one of the stories that was in here was talking about, there's a quote. It says, until one is committed, there's hesitancy. The chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Okay. Basically, it's a story about Henry Ford. Let me just
Okay.
So Henry Ford said, we are going to be able to make an engine, a single block that has 8 cylinders. All the engineers said, you're absolutely crazy. It cannot be done. And take into account, this is a guy that didn't really take no for an answer. And he said, I do not want to see your faces again until it can be done, until it's done. It can be done, and it will be done. And they said, it cannot be done. Well, a year later, they finally got it done. But he had to encourage them all the way along the way to finally create the 8-cylinder engine, right? So, and the funny part is, Henry Ford did not make it past the 6th grade. And he ended up bossing around the world's most intelligent engineers.
Wow.
And that's because of his commitment. And when he was talking about commitment, it's really about having a vision and going after it and not letting anything stop you, is kind of what he was saying. So, and really trying, and somebody climbs a mountain, they're just going to fall down over and over and over again until they finally reach it. And there was story after story in here, like Fred Smith wrote a paper at Yale talking about how he believed that you could create an organization that could deliver packages all over the world within a day or two. He created FedEx. True story, Michael Jordan was cut from a basketball team when he was very, very young because they said he didn't have the skills, he was awkward. The founder of Honda applied for a job as an engineer with Toyota and was not hired and decided that he was going to do it himself.
Nice.
So basically, the only failure is in quitting, and everything else is just gathering information along the way. So, and I was thinking about that with you guys that are newer to the business or trying to become a top producer. You have to continue to learn and learn and learn and try and try and try. I mean, I was talking to an agent that's been in the business for 28 years on Friday, and she was still telling me that every day she is still learning something new.
Yeah.
Still learning something new and becoming better and better and better at her craft. So just don't quit. Continue to gather information.
Yes.
Okay, so now she had some keys to being a badass.
Okay.
Number 1, you got to want it bad. Number 2, you got to get good at it, right?
Okay.
And she did say this. Deciding is freedom, and indecision is torture. So if I know I want to be a top producer, if I know I want to sell 20 houses this year, at least now I have the goal. I'm going to sell 20 houses this year. I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Not knowing how much I'm going to sell, not knowing that I have a plan, not knowing what my goal is. It just talks about the power of knowing what you're going to be doing. So we know we're doing Monday Motivation shows. So Adam knows we got to have everything prepped, we got to have everything ready. It's just so much easier when you make that decision. And I don't know about
Agreed.
you guys, but when you're trying to make decisions, I think that causes anxiety too.
Yes. Just choose something and go with it.
Yeah, so whether you're going to be a top agent, whether you're going to be a top tenor, whatever it is, like make that decision on what you want to do and stick with it because it's so much easier. And decisions, once you make that decision, decisions are not out for negotiation. When you decided to quit smoking, Adam, you just decided, right? But thinking about doing it was probably harder than actually doing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then once you figure it out, stick like glue to it is kind of what they were suggesting. There's a big difference between walking around saying you want to make $1 million a year and having a crystal clear intention, a fierce desire, and a hell-bent action towards making that $1 million a year. Because if you on this call, everybody decided you wanted to make $100,000 this year, you can do it. But you have to say it, you have to believe it, and then everything else will become easy. If I want to make $500,000, like I believe it'd be fun to watch Michelle Carnley set a goal to make $500,000 in a year. May not be this year, Michelle, may not be next, but I'll bet you if you decided in the next 3 years you wanted to make $500,000 a year, you could do it.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you Brian Keene could do it.
Well, thank you. My goal this year, is 30 houses. I did 20 last year, and I'm opening up escrow this morning. I'm waiting for the contract back for the house for this weekend. I already sold it full ask, and they're giving the tenants, till June 3rd to stay in their house. So we're opening up escrow on that. That's house 3. I got 27 to go.
You got it.
So Michelle, I mean, how can we get everybody to make that commitment? Like, if you make the commitment and know what you want, it's going to be clear and it's going to happen. You know, whatever that might be. Like, what made you decide I want to do 30? And when you say that, do you say that to yourself every day? Do you read it somewhere? Like, what's your...
Yeah, no, posted up in my office above the clients I'm working on and my current listings. My top thing up above my vision board is got my 30 houses, and I actually have a thermometer. And so I'm shading house number 3 on the bottom of my thermometer today. So opening up escrow on that one. So yeah, I just keep myself accountable, and just I have to do whatever it takes. So La Jolla that I just sold with, so I put out postcards. And so this one today, I'll put out a postcard. I'll go walk my farm. I mean, every time I sell, anytime anybody sells, you should use that as an opportunity. That Tom Ferry always says there's 2 more on that street that want to sell.
Right.
So find the 2. You have to find the yeses.
Right.
So just don't be afraid. You got to think that in your mentality. There's 2 more on the street that need me. So who is it? I got to go find them.
And I think that's why, Michelle, that you're doing it is because you're actually doing the tasks. You do the work. The day I met you, you were still going. You put in the work.
Works.
You put in the work. You set a goal, but it's for you. It's also about your daily tasks. I think and you just go for it. And I think that's something we all should learn. And we all know what to do, but Michelle's not afraid to do it.
Right.
Just make a list, make your priorities, and then just cross if it's so satisfactory to me to cross it off on my book and keep myself accountable, and then if it's not done, I carry it over to the next day. I mean, I'm not going to drop the ball. You just got to make yourself accountable. And like last night, I was up until midnight, and I had to get my work done, and I agreed to help Sarah Brady on her 2 new offers, last night. So she FaceTimed me and I was helping her. But, when you just make a commitment to somebody or someone, you just do it.
I love that.
And my name's behind it, and I always believe you got to be ethical. So 2 funny story, the couple that came in on Saturday that really wanted this house said they were going to write an offer. They said, can I pay you 1% on the side to write us the offer? Or can you take 3% and then I'll give you, and then I'll tell my other agent to give her 1. And I said, no, I'll never be unethical. That will never be Michelle Carnley's name. I'm sorry. There's no amount that you could, let's just do this ethical. You have your realtor write me an offer with all the terms that we just discussed, and we'll get it accepted, and it'll be ethical and up on for everyone. And I believe when you you excel to be, and your name is 100%, golden. When somebody talks about me, I want them to know, oh my gosh, Michelle Carnley, she's ethical, she's all in, she goes above and beyond, she's extraordinary. That's me. That's what I stand for.
There you go.
So I think that's what you have to do.
I love it. Thank you. And I love the ethical piece, but I do also want to say to everybody out there, she knows she wants to sell 30 houses this year. That's what I'd like to see everybody do. Go ahead, Jenny.
I want to know, Mary Long, what is your goal this year?
So is it a house goal, Mary? Is it an income goal?
Whatever.
What are you thinking?
Oh, it's a lot of different things, but yes, it's always to sell more homes than the previous year, but maybe more balanced this year. You know, I went on a listing appointment last night, got home at 9:30 with the time change. It was 10:30. But I told them, you know, in real estate, I try to balance everything out because I represented them as the buyer's agent in Canyon Lake. And they talked to a lot of agents and they know a lot of people, but they said not everybody's good at both, you know, being a buyer's agent or a seller's agent. They're better at one. And I said, no, you have to do both and you have to balance it out. And so I'm looking for a lot more balance in everything this year.
I like that. And Mary's a super stud, in case you guys out there didn't know it.
Yeah,
So.
always.
Good stuff. All right, so we got a couple minutes left. I have a summary.
Oh, okay.
Number one, give your bad habits a heave-ho.
Oh,
I think that's number one. Get rid of those bad habits. Start developing successful habits. And we all know our bad habits. Number two, it goes back to the beginning. I don't know if you remember this, but connect to the source energy. Like, keep a great relationship with the big man. Keep your energy high. Keep your frequency high. Keep a level of energy and excitement that's going to equate to the goals that you want to reach. You cannot be Eeyore, Adam, and reach the goals that you want to reach.
right.
You know what I mean? So
Totally.
No goals, no problem.
no goals, no problem. Jesus. Number three, hang high, and that is hang out with people that kick ass. And I think that's a big one.
I do
Hang
too.
high. Hang out with people that kick ass, that are living the lives you want, that have the income that you want, that are the type of people that you want to be, all that sort of stuff. Number four, set honest goals. You're not going to go start running and run 10 miles tomorrow. You're going to slowly, methodically reach your goals. So set realistic goals. We talked about that many
Well,
times.
and like, because I don't want the newbies or people who've only been at it 2 or 3 years, but 30 houses. I'm going to do. Hey, baby steps. It's all right. If you do the work, it's going to happen. It may not be 30 houses this year, but it will happen.
6 in your first year would be fabulous.
Oh my God, it'd be huge.
12 in your second year would be fabulous.
Yeah.
And 20 in your third year, you're starting to get rich.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you're starting to get on your way. So set honest goals. Number 5 is to read your manifesto. So do you remember when I said, take the bad stories that we tell ourselves, you know, oh, my parents are, you know, they're all overeaters, so am I, blah, 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 and flip it upside down into that paragraph of the positives. So read your manifesto. Write down your goals, your visions, everything for your ideal life, put it in one paragraph and post that. Number 6, get out your credit card and pay somebody to help you. And that would be like Sonia or a business coach or, you know, a mentor or something along those lines. And it really is money well spent. I believe that mentors and coaching is the best thing you could possibly do. I could not imagine not having a coach to talk to every week. I couldn't even imagine. I'll bet you a lot of people, Brian, a bunch of guys on the call, even Jennifer Murphy, all of us. I mean, if I didn't have somebody to run all my goals and life plans by, I just don't think the value, I'd be in big trouble. So number 7 is get your body in on it. And it says if you're in a bad mood, stand up tall, straight. Try to shift that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Mel Robbins. Stop being a lazy cow and try to get your body set up into the position that you can to get out of that bad mood. And we all get in them. I like this one too. I think this is a good one. This was one of my favorites, one I might keep. Use your secret weapons. Okay, use your secret weapons. Your secret weapons might be a playlist of songs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you're working out or if you need to feel better, if you need to snap out of something. It might be certain clothes that you wear. Do you feel a certain way when you put on a jacket, when you wear these certain shoes, when you have new pants? You know, just whatever keeps you in the zone of being who you want to be. So I like the music playlist. I think that's a great idea. I like the clothes. I think that's a great idea. Could be a car. It could be whatever you need to do to feel good. Like when I remember when Craig McCoy first bought that BMW. Way back when we were like 20 and he went out and bought like a 740i. And I said, dude, what are you doing? I said, I mean, that's kind of shit he used to do. He'd come in with a Harley, you know. And I said, what are you doing? And he goes, you know how good I feel driving this car? He goes, you know how hard I want to work to make sure that I can keep driving this car? And I noticed his whole demeanor changed and his, you know, kind of run at success and everything. And I believe that that was one of his secret weapons was a vehicle. And then the last but not least, and I've left this out of the book, but every single chapter, all 20 whatever of them, ends with love yourself. And it says, you know, love yourself with a kung fu grip. Like, feel good about you. Like, be you. Don't let anybody not be you. If you're funny, whatever it is, your quirks are what makes you you and what makes you special. Own them. You know, because the only person that's really, really going to love you is yourself. You know, so if you don't love yourself, you're in trouble.
Be yourself. That was for you, Valerie.
Aw. So basically, and
It
you know
was
what?
just friends. We
So-
got remember Teresa?
Yes, we got Teresa. Anything you want to add, Adam? Slumped over in your chair, bored as hell
Oh,
today?
God.
It's about
Talk
self-motivation.
about.
Look at him. It's like a sloth over there.
I'm gonna get a camera and I'm just gonna put it on me. You're gonna flip your iPhone on him.
No, I would like to motivate all of you folks to go over and share this post from the CBABR page. It would really help our algorithm, and you know, if you like me as a person, you'll do this thing for me.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
Boy. All
And
right.
leave a comment about how cool I am.
Yeah, okay, great.
Oh.
Love how Adam makes it about Adam. All right, so we are Monday Motivation Time. It is exactly 10 o'clock, and it is time to turn it over to Teresa. Teresa, tell us about some of the new inventory, how many houses we got on today to talk about.
Actually, Chuck, if everybody's here, we have 15 new properties.
Hey, that's good news.
Nice.
Hey, all you guys that are whining
that is wonderful.
Hey, and
Yeah.
Teresa, all these people that are complaining that they can't find properties, there's 15 of them right here.
Yeah, there were more, but again, we get they're already in escrow. I've already got multiple offers. I think there were 36 new ones.
36 new
But
listings this week. Oh, thank God. All right, good news.
Yeah, and any new agents on the call, remember, watch these and get a hold of these agents for open houses. Watch these ones we're going through today.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you, Teresa, and it is all you.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's get this going here.